It's great to see you all here. For those who I haven't met before personally, my name is Judith Pennington, and I'd like to welcome you to this program on the Meditation Center and the Meditation Viewer. In a little while, I'm going to introduce two people who helped make this possible. But for now, I want to just start out welcoming you and saying how excited I am to do this program. This is an incredible evolutionary and revolutionary addition to the Mind Mirror portal and, in fact, to this work in general, this work of awakened mind training. Some of you may know that from the time Anna Wise began to train people in 2001 until her passing in 2010, the only way that anyone could enjoy the awakened mind work, which advances consciousness, awakens and evolves the mind, was through Mind Mirror practitioners. And there were only 35 practitioners at the time she passed. And you had to either live close to them or be willing to travel to them to get any mind training. And we had a big change from that with the Ballistus Mind Mirror 6, which was released in 2012, in the self-training program, which allowed people to train themselves through neurofeedback. You listen to the audio tones, the audio cues, and you decide which particular pattern that you want to train. And then you proceed to train basically yourself, allowing the musical cues to help you adjust your brain waves. Actually, your brain adjusts itself to be able to meet the pattern attainment ratios of the various awakened mind, evolved mind. And soon we had with the more gamma, the gamma synchrony pattern. And so that's been a wonderful way to do brainwave training until now. Everything changed when Andrew Tang had the idea for and implemented the Mind Mirror portal, which allowed us then to have something extraordinary in the Meditation Center and the Meditation Viewer. And so for a little bit more background on that, in January of this year, I began to record some previously unpublished meditations of Max Cade's and Anna Wise's, and even some of my own. And was really happy and excited about that because these weren't available before. You could read them in their books, but of course, not being able to listen to them, you could just sort of guide yourself through them. So in March, the month of March, I managed to edit them, and then as the portal developed and I began to realize the enormity of this, I got really excited and still excited about it today, because basically what it allows for is you to be your own awakened mind practitioner. This is not to take away from awakened mind practitioners. Of course, they have enormous skills. They're trained in working with people in a one-on-one basis, and nothing can parallel that. But the closest thing that you could possibly come to is to listen to a guided meditation in the Meditation Center. And while you're listening, to have your brain waves recorded in the mind mirror, and then to go back later on and listen to, look at the meditation viewer and see exactly when the meditation instructions had a specific effect on your brain waves, exactly as a mind mirror practitioner would do. And this is really exciting. I'm going to take you into the meditation viewer and show you the kinds of things that you can see, perhaps for the first time if you haven't visited a mind mirror practitioner. But first, I just want to take you through the meditation viewer, meditation center, and just show you exactly what's available there. So what happened with the recording of these meditations is that you have here every single possible way to train your brain waves here on the meditations page. Say you have high beta. and you need to quiet your beta down, you just go to relax and balance. If you have an alpha deficit, alpha development meditations, if for some reason you can't quite balance your brain waves or get your alpha to expand, then you can go into the theta meditations. If what you want to train is creative flow and peak performance, awakened mind. If you want a higher state of consciousness, even some meditations that relate to the mastery of subtle energies, there is a section for that. I've titled this one Complete Brainwave Training Program, and I'll show you why in a few moments. But the truth is that all of these are complete brainwave training program taken together. And so here you are, say you're a Mind Mirror Self trainer, and you're allowing the cues, the musical cues in the program, to train your brainwaves. What these meditations allow you is the way to train not only the state of consciousness, what you're doing listening to the musical cues, but the content of consciousness. Meaning that you go into a meditation. Let's just look at awakened mind for an example. And just nod if you're following me, and if this screen share is showing you the one that says, the page that says Awakened Mind Meditations for Creativity and Flow. Everybody can see that? Yeah? Okay, great. Thank you. So let's say you want to train the awakened mind, and you only have a half an hour. So you choose the Beingness album. That comes with 4 different meditations on it: the animal, the magic potion, the plant tree sensualization, and one of mine, the book. So when you start to listen to this meditation, they're only 12, 15 minutes in length. What this, the structure of each of these meditations includes is all of the mind mirror theory that has been gathered over 40 years through the use of the mind mirror. So you are most definitely going to end up in an awakened mind pattern. And inside of 15 minutes with this album, you're going to have an incredible amount of information about yourself. This Beingness album invites you to project your awareness into an animal, a magic potion, a plant, or a book, and learn more about yourself. So this is what it means, a content meditation. You're working with the material of the mind, the content of your consciousness, and these meditations are so powerfully structured, time-tested, time-proven, known to be, as people were measured on the mind mirror, known to be effective, that you're going to achieve the state. You don't even have to listen to the musical cues because it's most certainly going to happen. And you're going to address content. Now, of course, if you know anything about awakened mind theory, you know that when you address the content, when you, for example, let's go down here to Passive Mastery, one of Anna's most powerful albums, certainly, and individual meditations, you know that what keeps someone from extending their alpha and quieting their beta is typically issues that are lodged in theta. So in this Paths of Mastery album, you have the opportunity to find the block, find out in only 13 and a half minutes, get in touch with it, make it tangible, understand what it is. If you have, say, a feeling that you can't move forward in your life, if you feel that there's something happening that you already know what it is, or whether you don't know what it is, then this is the block down here in theta that's keeping your alpha from extending, keeping your beta too extended, keeping you too externally focused. So this awakened mind meditation will take you deep into your theta to find and heal the block. If you have an issue for the inner child, where you've been perhaps damaged or traumatized or wounded simply as a child, or even as an adult, there's still a part of you in your subconscious mind that feels pain and wants to clear that pain, then you can do this meditation and work with the inner child and, make a promise in the future to stay connected with it, which will help you in ordinary life stabilize that awakened mind pattern. Keep that alpha turned on, keep that beta quiet, stay in touch with the part of you that perhaps you've been disconnected from because it contains content in the theta subconscious that you want to get away from or don't know how to deal with. These meditations will help you deal with that. Your evolutionary path is really terrific because what are your next best steps? This album, this track will help you find that. And as you know, Anna was a wonderful meditation guru and guide. And I assure you, you will find in this 26-minute meditation where you've been, where you are now, and where you need and want to go in life, according to the insights and the, let's just call it precognitive knowing that's in your subconscious mind. When you are looking at the future, you're going to have an inner sense of knowing, an inner sense of certainty that, oh, yes, that's it. That's exactly where I need to go. Of course, and this thought has crossed your mind, but you didn't really feel the truth and the necessity of your next best steps toward that goal or those goals. Qualities of mastery. This is one we have in Seminar 3. It's a wonderful meditation that allows you to embody the qualities that are actually associated with the awakened mind pattern. So if you have an awakened mind in meditation, you, at that moment of insight, when you produce that humanoid-shaped aha pattern, well, then certain things are switched on. Your whole mind is connected and switched on and working together at that moment of insight. But can you hold that pattern during meditation in your outer life? Well, this meditation will help you do that. The qualities of mastery, which include love, compassion, non-judgment, detachment, equanimity, and more. So in this meditation, Anna has you go onto a stage and connect with your ordinary self on the left hand and your higher self on the right hand, and feel what it feels like to embody those qualities so that you remember what that feels like. And after meditation, with your eyes open, in ordinary life, you can say, wait, I am or am not embodying these qualities. And this meditation then becomes a landmark for you, an inner felt sense of awareness, a felt sense of the state of awareness, so you can shift back into that pattern. So when I'm saying that this is a complete brainwave training program, it's so complete that it gives you landmarks you find during the meditation, that felt sense or state of awareness that you can bring out of meditation and then externalize the pattern to everyday life. I'm focusing on these a couple at a time just to illustrate some points. But let me just ask if one of the people that I wanted to bring in happens to be on board with us right now. So recording these meditations was, of course, just the first step. Of course, Andrew Tang. Andrew, let's get you to turn on your video and unmute so we can give you a warm round of applause. Andrew is one of the two people that I wanted to introduce. Andrew had the idea for the Mind Mirror Portal in the first place, which affords, first of all, automated data processing, but also opened the door for us to be able to have the meditation center and the meditation viewer. So Andrew, why don't you give us a wave and a hello?
Oh, hi.
You could say something about what you hope for people to get out of this portal, because I know that you have very high goals in life,
Uh-huh.
and that was what motivated you.
Oh, okay. Well, well, first and foremost, like to, of course, I'd like you guys to use it and to benefit from it, and also benefit from the meditation centers. Judith has put a lot of hard work on it to make it look to make it perfect, to put a lot of work on it, and make sure all the dots and T's are crossed and dotted. So and also it is very powerful set of meditations, and they can actually bring out a lot of help, to assist everyone. And my hope also would be to, once you get a taste of how useful this can be, and that is to then go on to the next step and go and help your friends and neighbors and relatives to use the meditations to help themselves as well. And
Beautiful.
you could ask them to see if you could do the hookup for them, and so they can benefit from it through the neurofeedback capability of the ballistas. So that's sort of my hope and dreams.
That's beautiful, Andrew. Thank you so much. And thank you for reminding me about the network. This is something, just to say a little bit more about it, that Andrew had for a wide-ranging goal for the Mind Mirror. And that is that any self-trainer can sign up. There is a page. So the network is where you find out about this. If you click on this page, then you're going to see self-trainers who have signed up to participate in this program. And California, Florida, New Jersey, New York. We have people on board with us today who Andrea Pennington has signed up to be part of the network. She's here with us. Hi, Andrea. Also Liz Lebrecht and Daniel Wagner, and then Suzanne Temple in the Netherlands. And what this means is that if you sign up for the network, then people will come to this website and find your information and contact you, and then be able to come to you for a mind mirror session. Really, all you have to do is hook them up, and at the end of the session will upload to the portal. And the portal will do the data processing, and then either you, as a member of the network, if you have the know-how, or you can ask a practitioner to help, and then the practitioner can spend time with the client and all of that portal located information, and give them basically a practitioner's viewpoint of how you're doing, what needs to happen next. So it's really a phenomenal aspect of the portal, and one that I hope you'll all sign up for. If all you have to do literally is hook someone up. Now I see that my daughter Rachel, calling from her car, is on board with us and is sharing her screen. Can you unmute, Rachel? And I just want to say a few words.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't really know how to use the Zoom quite yet.
So glad that you were able to get here. We can't thank Rachel enough. She did all of the album covers. I guess you are seeing the Relaxed and River of Life page now. Rachel, nod if everybody can see that. Yes. And so these album covers are just absolutely gorgeous. She went from page to page. I'll just show you some of my favorite ones. Alpha Development, Relax and Balance, has some beautiful things in it. Look at these gorgeous covers. She did every single one of them. This is one of my favorite, The Green Door. I'll just show you a larger view, and that's stunning. And Other Fantasies. This is one of Max Cade's meditations. And then I just want to go back. So in order, I tell you a couple of things. I really want to highlight these meditations and clarify how incredibly wonderful they are. So in this Relaxed album, what Max has here, Rachel so beautifully created for you, showing the X's and the O's and this matrix. What she's bringing out here is that these autogenic relaxation exercises get down on a very, very deep level, working with every single part of the body successively. And this meditation is kind of long. It's almost 29 minutes. And that's because you're tensing, releasing, warming, and energizing every part of the body. And I've written here, I looked it up in both Max's book and online, and it says clinical evidence suggests that this is highly systematized technique generates deep relaxation that reverses pathology and enhances concentration and peak performance. Likewise, in Anna Wise's The River of Life meditation, what you have is the deep relaxation meditation that is on her High Performance Mind album, but extended to way down into Delta, that gives you so much relaxation. It's taking you into a calm acceptance of the Tao, the source of life, the source of equanimity, and also hemispheric balancing. So you can start to see how each and every single one of these albums is geared to something, some powerful need that you might have for brainwave training. Of course, you can just start right in on the awakened mind meditations. But if you need to expand your alpha, or if you simply want to have a phenomenal alpha experience, this page of meditations will do it for you. These 5 alpha word pictures, sensory sequences, Anna's drink sensualization, and her alpha development word picture, these first 4 on here, are working very directly with alpha, almost in a calisthenics kind of way. Exercising that alpha, there'll be a series of images, and you're invited to really move your awareness into them so that you're completely present with them, and that will extend and expand your alpha. And of course, because alpha is the bridge to your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind, that which quiets the thinking mind's beta and centers it in the lower frequencies, you can't say enough for alpha training. It's just that important. And I also included in here the spiritual sensualization exercises, which is spiritual imagery for each sense in a series. And I wanted to say something about Max's Green Door and other fantasies. This is so much fun, and I can't even begin to tell you, and you can't understand until you experience these meditations, what an incredibly enlightened person Max Cade was. The Audubon fantasy, the Green Door fantasy, and the blowhole, you think that what you're doing is exercising your alpha, but you're actually working on multi-dimensional levels to advance your awareness, because you get so involved, your alpha gets so involved and so extended that you're moving into, as I wrote here, a multi-sensory and multi-dimensional awareness. Now, these are pretty fast because they're alpha. You don't want to, as on the other meditations, you know, the voice slows down and it gets softer because you're moving down into theta. But these alpha meditations are fast. So there's just this phenomenal experiences. This one's taking you to a fairy castle. This one's down a rabbit hole. This one actually is going to a tourist attraction. So you can end up releasing something extraordinary that is lodged in your theta subconscious, which is what I mean about these meditations being multidimensional. There's only one album in Down and In. I love Rachel's beautiful design for that. But they are incredibly powerful. The Down and In, as a theta meditation, does not ask you to have any kind of anticipation or plan or anything. You're just going straight down to your theta. The meditation instructors will guide you to relax your beta, to extend your alpha, and to drop you right into theta. And when you drop into theta with this Down and In meditation, in the same way as the House of Doors, what you're doing is just opening up to whatever you might find there, allowing your subconscious mind to give you what you most need to know. This purple planet is a real trick. It's only 10 minutes long, but it's taking you through your blue and purple theta into a realm where you go to this other planet and connect with the beings that you find there, the intelligences in whatever form, and they are going to communicate information to your theta. So I tried to really group these in interesting ways. I love of course, all the awakened mind meditations. Can't say enough about the beauty of these. Give me a second here. I'm going to close my Outlook. Okay. The awakened mind meditations, of course, that's creative flow, and I've already talked to you about the beingness meditations and the paths of mastery. But say you are stuck and you have a creative challenge that you don't know how to resolve. Here's your album. Beautiful as it is, Rachel just did a stunning job on every one of these. They're so creative. Rachel's actually a visual artist, and she's just starting a company called Mindwave Artistry, taken after our work. She's a practitioner in training as well. And you can see with these this beautiful emblem here that this is going to the heart of the matter, into the center of you, in your theta, in your awakened mind state, but primarily taking you into your theta and even your delta. This exercise your game, this is only 15 minutes long, and what a phenomenal experience. It's taking you into your beta to help you decide what it is that you want to work on and think about it, articulate it, and then down to your alpha to walk around it and see images of it, and then down into your theta where you embed it into your subconscious, whatever is the creative challenge or endeavor. And then it takes you down to delta and lets you open up to the field for input from the quantum field as to, and people, when they're hooked up to this, it's really delicious to watch because you're seeing each of these categories pop with activity. People get down to the delta and they reach out and extend their delta into the field, and then you can absolutely see the insight coming up. There's a pop, and then this evolved mind bottom, and then the information just travels on back up to beta, and then this takes you back up through theta, then alpha, and to beta, and says, okay, pull out your pen and papers, crayons, your markers, and write down what you perceived. Bring it to beta, where you are going to manifest it. And then I have only guided you through this one time, but it invites you, excuse me, it invites you to guide yourself through the process a second time on your own to practice it. And if you're doing this with a meditation viewer, then you're going to see if there's any difference in it, in the way you experience it the first time and the second time, which is a whole level of information in itself. Creativity circle, you're just going down into theta. I've filed this as an awakened mind meditation because you're going to be thinking about it with your beta while you're down there in your theta. So it's not a pure theta meditation. It does have some beta present. And then the House of Doors 2, this puts titles. If you've done the House of Doors meditation, you know how powerful it is. This was Anna's favorite meditation. Someone tried to buy it from her at once, and she said, I would, somebody thinks I would sell the House of Doors. She, she knew how powerful it is. And so this one is every bit as powerful because now it's got problem solving for creativity and insight names on the doors. So that's why it's a creativity meditation. People have been buying this meditation lately, and I just love it. This is a forgiveness, one of mine, forgiveness meditation, technique that you can use during the meditation to let go of something and then guide yourself through it the whole rest of your life. I do this all the time. I actually got this idea from the Unity Church. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and incredibly useful. If you want to clear that theta This is one thing we all have to do to get rid of that incoherent energy on the cellular and atomic levels. The timeline actually has 40 hertz gamma beats in it, produced by Bob Holbrook of the Monroe Institute. It was originally part of my Superconscious Mind album. This is incredibly powerful, not just because of the gamma beats, but because it's taking you up to a place where you can, from the timeline, look down to different parts of your life and see what there is for you to see. And it's always something, maybe you don't see it, maybe you sense it or feel it or just know it, but it's going to take you somewhere in your subconscious that you want to reframe in some way to a higher level. And so on Anna's meditations, I followed the way she taught and used her music on my meditations, and then some of hers as well. I included music created by Enlightened Audio, a wonderful man in Australia. If you go to the About Us page, you can read all about him and about Bob Holbrook as well. I wrote profiles on all the people, including Rachel, including Andrew, even myself, who contributed to the portal and all these different aspects of it. And then I love pure consciousness. It just takes you straight up into a higher state. And so then we get to what is my favorite category and might well be yours as well. And this is the higher states of awareness and energy mastery. I can't begin to tell you how powerful this is. You really have to experience it for yourself. Max Cade's 3 meditations, the encounter with light, meditation on candlelight, and the golden waterfall meditation. This is where, even more than in his alpha journeys, you discover his very intimate understanding of higher states of consciousness, and the ability to connect with the quantum light in the field. This is just so powerful. The encounter with light is only 9.5 minutes long, and I guarantee you, if you watch your brainwave patterns in the meditation viewer, you're going to see some evolved mind, super conscious patterns. Same thing with the meditation on candlelight, which is only 5 minutes long. He connects you just that fast with higher states of consciousness. And then the golden waterfall, that one's 13 minutes. This is just beautiful. The description says, a waterfall of warm golden light rains droplets of revitalizing chi on your body and energy system. And this one has a gorgeous track by Enlightened Audio. So I won't go through every single one of these, except to say that in Timeless, Max Cade is actually trying to take you beyond time and as we know it on this material plane into a place where there is no time, where you're timeless, where there's nothing but pure consciousness, pure spirit. And you can see from Rachel's design there that you're absolutely going out into the ethers here. These are incredibly effective. You will love the moon. It's so beautiful. All of these have enlightened, these 3 have enlightened audio and music. The Journey Through Time does not have music because it's important for you to have your sensory awareness. You may hear things, so we don't want the music to interfere with that. For our journeys, this is by friends of Max Cade, Jeff Blundell, Nona Coxhead, who co-authored Max's book, The Awakened Mind, and Jules Cashford, who was a friend of theirs. And these are just incredibly powerful. The pyramid is the meditation where Max first saw the out-of-body pattern, the flat brainwaves, on his students. That's where he discovered that pattern. A journey out of body intends to take you there. It's a beautiful feeling, really great music in it, and Meditation on the Sea, also very, very beautiful. Just as an example, the description says, at the water's edge, the air shimmers toward you, dissolving your body in waves of light. Now, this album contains what I believe, and probably all awakened mind practitioners and practitioner trainees would agree, are her three most powerful meditations. I titled it Kundalini after the Kundalini meditation that's on it. But some of you, probably a good many of you, have already experienced gathering the healing energy for transmission to others. We did this on a webinar about, I guess, 3 or 4 months ago live. And Andrea Pennington was there. A number of you were there. And this is just a stunningly beautiful meditation. It's not just that these meditations are so powerful because they're Anna's higher state meditations, or 3 keynote higher state meditations, but also because her language is so beautiful and so incredibly profound. This is where, just as Max was a master, an enlightened master, this is where you realize that Anna herself has very much been these places in consciousness, the highest, the apex of consciousness, but with this crystal clear, crystalline language can also take you there. And so I highlight this one because when I get to the meditation viewer in a few moments, I'm going to show you 2 of meditations that I meditated to and the effects on your brain waves. So expansion and contraction, this is seminar 4, the highest spiritual states. All 3 of these are seminar 4 of the practitioner training program. Things you really need to master. Want to master. If you want to get to the evolved mind pattern, gamma synchrony pattern, 100 hertz, gamma synchrony, awakened mind, evolved mind patterns, these meditations are the ticket. Now, I'm very happy to announce, if you haven't heard before, that those very 3 same meditations that I just showed you from the Kundalini album, expansion and contraction, gathering the healing energy, Kundalini meditation, have been set by iAwake Spiritual Technologies to music and various beat frequencies, so that they are now selling this album on their website and have titled it In, Out, and Through. So the idea is that you go inside yourself, you're going to go out into the quantum field and through any blocks, anything that would hinder you from reaching cosmic consciousness. In, Out, and Through, Volume 1 contains expansion of the self and gathering the healing energies. Right now, they are doing the final mastering on Kundalini, and these are so unbelievably powerful. All 3 of these, once they put those beat frequencies. So if you don't want beat frequencies, just check out the Kundalini album with the stunning music in it. But if you want the beat frequencies for that extra bump, this is incredibly powerful stuff. And I have to say that my Superconscious Mind album is a powerful one also. It was tested at the Monroe Institute with a group of people. I see that Jim is on board with us here today. And wow, I've shown you the brainwaves that he produced during the Wise One meditation in a previous webinar, where he was following the path to the golden light of the Wise One, and all of a sudden dissolved into the Wise One, went straight up into gamma. And so all of these have gamma beat frequencies in them. Expansion, the matrix are about subtle energies, and also about landmarking what it feels like to be inside your own biofield, inside yourself, and then to expand into your auric field, the larger biofield around you, and then to expand into the quantum field. So it's a bit of an exercise in that sense, but very often involves insights. So the matrix, for example, says that the brainwave entrainment builds on low and high delta balanced with 8 hertz alpha and a 3D orbiting 44 hertz gamma. The wise one, though, has 80 hertz gamma in it. So these are just incredibly powerful. Cosmic Waves is an out-of-body journey. It's 30 minutes long, but most of that time, after the first 7 minutes of introduction, you have experiencing 44 and 88 hertz gamma frequencies while being left alone to surf through the field. So this is a very cool album because of all those gamma beats in it. This is another one of mine, The Star of Pure Love. You know, we know from the research, all of the research by all of the researchers on gamma, that what really generates gamma is love. So this whole album is dedicated to love. And you may think, love, love, love. But once you're in these meditations and you're feeling what the love of others means to you, as in this meditation on love, you will watch your gamma increase. Same on the Star of Pure Love. Maybe it's going to be an evolved mind pattern, but you will see in this album just how powerful effect just feeling love and transmitting love and recognizing love in others actually gives to you. And of course, these are all enhanced, all three of these, by the stunningly beautiful music from Enlightened Audio. The Star of Pure Love, I won't say anything more about it except that, wow, once you get to the star, I do want to say something about the Bridge of Angels, partly because I created a new tab on the mindmirrorportal.com website called How To Videos. They show you how to sign up for the portal, how to start a session, how to upload an existing session, how to upgrade your subscription. That one's also on the subscribe page. But the other videos will show you how to actually process sessions. And the one that I processed was the Bridge of Angels. And I love this meditation. It's got these gorgeous angel voices. I just heard from Arne Heisel, and he just did the Bridge of Angels last night, and he fell in love with it too. The music, the angelic sounds are just gorgeous, but you are meeting your immortal self, and there's a message given to you by your immortal self. And wow, as you'll see if you watch that how-to video on the meditation viewer, where I'm showing you my brainwaves during the Bridge of Angels, you'll really see yourself move into some higher states on this meditation in particular. I hope you like it. You know, people say angels, angels, la, 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 that's some religious thing. But truly, angels are just a form of energy, and love, the energy of love. And once you connect with the energy of love, you know, it doesn't have to be an angel with wings. It can be a sphere of light. Doesn't matter how you perceive it. It's just the idea that something loves you so much, and you can feel the love and respond to it. That's why it takes you to a higher state. And then lastly, energy healing and mastery. These come into the practitioner training seminar 4 program. And if you have not worked with subtle energies before and want to, these are some of Anna's best. They're absolutely working with the chakra system. The orbit is working with the chi, the breath. It's only 5 minutes long. Up and out, 6 minutes long. Meditation on the chakras is longer because Anna is giving you the characteristics of each of the chakras, the colors, what parts of the body they heal. So this is really quite an education. And then lastly, I included my circulation of diamond light, which came out of the book, The Secret of the Golden Flower. It's a Taoist practice. I do it every single day in meditation, and I tell you, it causes so much clarity in the body and mind and spirit, so much coherence. It's just an absolutely beautiful experience. Basically, it's just taking the light down from the base up to the crown, but over in a shepherd's hook sort of shape to the third eye, which is exactly how Edgar Cayce described the chakra system working. Casey said it wasn't from the bottom to the top, it was from the bottom to the top and then over to the third eye. So that's what circulation of the diamond light does. And then there's an explanation of it, how powerful this was. The Taoists said from their ancient texts that if you do this practice, then when you leave this material life, that you leave it with all of your strides, all of the energy that you've built up, and if you come back, that's intact. And that was called by the Taoists the diamond body. And oddly enough, we have a diamond pattern that's halfway between the awakened mind and the evolved mind, between the humanoid shape and the circle of the evolved mind, shaped like a diamond. And by George, you see the diamond pattern on the circulation of the diamond light. I'm not kidding. So I'll show you in a few moments the meditation viewer, but I just want to stop here and ask if you have any questions. And if you do, just to unmute and let's hear from you about the meditation viewer, how we use it, the benefits of it, anything at all that you might want to know.
Yeah, I had a question which is very topical. What with the pandemic and the political issues surrounding us, I find that myself and many other people I know get somewhat depressed, and it's difficult to sleep sometimes because you're mulling over that. And I was curious as to which of these exercises are useful for that sort of thing. I had another question too, but first, this is the important one.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And it has many answers. The ones that come to me first would be to do the autogenic relaxation at some point during the day, and most appropriately before you go to bed, because it will send you way deep down into your theta delta, because you're working on the level of the body, right? So that's going to be the theta delta, which controls the physical body, subconscious and unconscious mind, and right where you want to be in preparation for sleep. In fact, many people fall asleep on meditations like that. The other one I suggest is finding the block and healing the block, because there's a root issue here. One of the characteristics of the awakened mind is equanimity. That is, as you point out, Herb, not so easy in these days and times. So what part of you is forgetting that everything is operating in divine right order? So that you could go into that awakened mind meditation and say, I want to talk to the part of me. It's going to ask you to bring that part up. That is the block, which is blocking your sleep, and to address it and to listen to it. So who's doing the addressing, asking the questions, is your essential being in theta. And it's talking to the part of you that's not letting you sleep, that's letting you be upset by these things that are going on in the world. So your essential being is having a conversation with that part, and that part will talk to you, and it will say thus and such, and then you might say something back to it, and then it might talk to you again, and the meditation will guide you into, especially in healing the block, into an integration, a reintegration of that part. The part is likely going to tell you that there's something that you need or want to do in your daily life. And you'll make an agreement with the part. And it'll be your job, your conscious mind's job, to go through your day thinking about that part. Do you want that part to manifest and block your sleep again? If you don't, then what did you agree to? How will you keep that agreement? And so, I've said before that this is so multidimensional. It's not just that you're working with the content in that awakened mind meditation and healing and reintegrating that part with the whole of your being. It's not just that that problem is solved. it's that by paying attention in your daily life to that part, then you are opening up a channel from your thinking mind to your theta and your delta, and becoming more awake and aware in your daily life to your inner self, which is the awakened mind pattern.
Yeah, thank you. I notice a similarity between what you're doing here and what I've seen in Yoga Nidra.
Yes, certainly. In the deep meditations, certainly the autogenic relaxation would be very similar to Yoga Nidra.
Because I found that has helped.
Yes. Do you want to say anything more about that Yoga Nidra, how it's working for you and why?
Well, I think I haven't really gotten into it. I just was looking at it, but I think it's the point of view that helps, where you are, as it were, the screen upon which the movie of your life is being projected. And so that you get out of the way of all the nonsense.
Yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know which Swami it was, wrote a book called Yoga Nidra, Satyananda Yogananda, I think. And he told a story about how he had this inner impulse to go and work with some people in prisons. And so, being the master of Yoga Nidra, his plan was to take people into Yoga Nidra. And he went into this prison, and first they threw things at him the first day. And he just ignored that, and he just guided people into the Yoga Nidra, and a few people did it. And the second time he went back, everybody followed. Pretty soon, everyone in the prison was changing their state of consciousness, becoming calmer. And the prison officials said, please keep coming back, because our entire experience of life in this prison has changed and is changing. And not just Yoga Nidra, but all of these meditations. See, that's why it's so important to be able to work with the content of consciousness, to do that deep descent into the lower and slower brainwaves, to get that insight, to generate that creativity, to resolve that problem, to be able to create more coherence in your and flow in your brainwave pattern and in your life, so that these two, it's not just meditation, it's not just while you're doing the self-training program and attaining the awakened mind pattern, although that is sufficient unto itself, but how much more powerful it is when you're working with that plus the content and making self autonomously driven changes in your life according to what you know you need and want. And when you're doing that, that's certainly increasing your awareness, making you more connected to yourself, because you suddenly notice the changes. And this is the path of transformation, isn't it? First comes the self-awareness, then comes the realization that, oh, there are multiple levels of awareness in my chakra system, in my brain, in my brain waves, in my physical reality, and the external life, and then the spiritual realm of reality. It's just awakening. This is the expansion of your amplitudes in these brainwave categories. That humanoid shape is a hologram, right? And so it's working on so many different levels. And what you ultimately find is that life becomes a joy. You know, there's no depression. Sure, things happen. Something terrible may happen, like COVID, for example. And you find that you're stressing out and your alpha disappears. But still, there's a part of you that remembers so well what it felt like to be happy and calm and free. And your brain remembers it. So give the brain the first bit of chance to go back there, and it will go with alacrity, back to that alpha theta meditation state, because that's when it's working in an optimized way. That's when the two hemispheres are balanced. That's when the brain's balanced with the heart. That's when the nervous system is relaxed and coordinating with the brain and the heart in order to heal and restore the body. So this whole idea of working with content, Max understood it, Anna understood it. Every single awakened mind practitioner will tell you that on a scale of 1 to 10, the best way to train your brainwaves is to do content work at the same time so you can understand what made you progress, what moment of aha, where did that happen during the meditation? You're going to feel it inside, but when you see it in your brainwave pattern, also you're going to go, oh, that's really real, that's really true. So it's in this meditation center, in the meditation viewer, where you're going to do what is the most important aspect of our work, and that is to self-regulate to a level that we've never had available before. Yeah, and it's so much fun when you do it too. And sometimes it's not always what you want to see. For example, I'll show you. I don't know if I can. Let me try to do it this way. So we'll ask more questions at the end. But right now, I just want to take you into the Mind Mirror portal. Can you guys see the inside of the Mind Mirror portal where it says higher states of awareness? When you sign up for the portal, you get 10 free sessions, and I really strongly encourage everyone to do it, because then you're going to end up having this phenomenal trend chart on your dashboard. Signing up for the portal is real simple. It won't cost you a cent. You can upload existing sessions, or you can meditate silently, or if you buy a meditation from the meditation center, then the other aspect of Rachel's work, which hubba hubba, I mean, she has done an enormous job of taking 74 meditation scripts, soon to be 75 meditation scripts, and placing them in an Excel file and separating them very artistically, as you're going to see, into modules that have a start time and an end time for each module. So she did that for all those meditations. And that's what makes this thing work so incredibly well. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So here is when you get into the portal, when you sign up for the portal and upload your sessions or record anew. If you buy from the meditation center, they're classified into types of meditations, just as the website is classified. This is just for your ease and convenience. So I have uploaded quite a few things. Down here in other, I have some testing that I did on the frontal lobes with spike electrodes. We're still trying to get you some dry electrodes so you can hook up every day. And then, so this is a frontal hookup, low scores. But then I have a higher states of awareness. I just put that as the category myself because it's not a script. I made it up. It was self-guided. But they're in higher states of awareness, energy mastery. These are the ones that are in that category. I'm going to show you my least successful meditation first because there's the most variability in it. So all I have to do is click here inside that bubble. Okay, so as soon as you clicked on that bubble in there that has the meditation name, where you're going to land is the meditation summary. In this meditation, I actually had it segmented because I was very distracted. I was sitting on my back porch. There was the lawnmower guys showed up and I was hooked up there and I didn't want to move, all kinds of distractions that happened. So I placed markers in the session to say what was happening when. Unfortunately, I didn't have the sense to write that down here, but I'm going to show you how you can. So this session summary here is actually the amalgamation of all 3 segments. So here's the first segment. You can see that it has the summary brainwave pattern and all the scores. Segment 2, different brainwave pattern. Segment 3, different brainwave pattern. And I explain how to use all of these screens in the how-to videos on the mindmirrorportal.website. The biofeedback, which will show you your GSR and BVP. Signal quality is going to show you if you had a good connection. Amplitudes, RMS, and then even coherence reports down at the bottom. But for now, I want to just take you into the meditation viewer. So this is Andrew's absolute most brilliant work here. Of course, the portal itself is stunning that he's got all this automated data processing, but he had this idea because he didn't want to draw the brainwave patterns during the practitioner training. And so this is where necessity is the mother of invention. He said, well, look, I can just create a situation where there's a script, and you can see it here. Close your eyes and allow your mind to remember your meditation state. And then I can have the brainwave pattern appear alongside the script for that period of time, which here is 108 minutes to 119 minutes. And so we can certainly scroll down and look at our patterns throughout the whole session. And that's incredibly helpful because immediately I can look at this and say, oops, I was indeed very distracted during this meditation. Look at this left brain beta there. There's no alpha. No doubt my eyes were still open. Remember the depth of meditation. I couldn't do it. The guy was out there mowing the lawn. What it feels like inside. Okay, I could do that a little bit, but you see that there's an alpha split here. It's 9 hertz on the left. There's almost no alpha here on the right. Couldn't get there. Remember what your landmarks and keys are. Well, I didn't do so well there. But then by the time it got to and begin to return to that place now, well, then I was sort of settling into the meditation, except for this big beta here. This should actually, for an awakened mind, be quieter here and more circular here. Take that depth of meditation into you. So you can look down the script at the patterns, and you can even check the detail level. Excuse me. Let me find a place where I actually started to move into a good pattern, like here. Perhaps you find a light there, or colors, signposts, guidance to take you further. This is all the preparation for the meditation. Place that knows no bounds. When I got to this place where you contact the healing energy that exists in the universe at 5 minutes, then you could see the brainwave pattern starting to become more profound. So this tells me now I have a landmark. Even here, as a vision or a sensation, this big delta flare tells me something. When I really settled down and became less distracted, though, was after the first marker, through the very core of your being. Now, if I wanted to say, okay, interesting, become aware, I don't have much alpha here. All I have to do is take this, click on this bar here, move it to the right, and that's the detail level. I can take it all the way to the end. And so for this period, 6:45 minutes to 6:53 minutes, become aware, I can scroll around and say, well, was I really settled by then? No. There's goodbye, not so much alpha. So the alpha's not stable. See here? So when did I become stable? Well, the truth is, I didn't become really stable in this meditation until the point where you are. In fact, I couldn't even feel the energy in my hands when it asks you to feel it in your hands. I didn't become stable until I began to heal myself. And so I can certainly scroll down and see all these things. I can even play the mind mirror here and see these things. I can click down here at the bottom, just below the timeline, and scroll through here. But I can't really see what I'm scrolling through yet, so I have to make a couple of adjustments. First thing I'd want to do is smooth. See how the amplitude is dropping? You can look at here's your color guide, delta purple. Delta purple is losing some amplitude. So I can smooth it and lose the amplitude, but what I'm going to do by doing this, as I zoom in with the plus sign, is I'm separating the various data lines. And in doing that, in fact, I would actually smooth this some more, separate them some more, so I can see them better. Now I can zoom up a little bit better. And so a brand new addition, even for those who have been in the portal before, this is really quite ingenious. So now you're seeing all of these frequencies here, left brain and the right brain, all frequencies for both sides of the brain. That's a lot of data lines. What I would be more interested in seeing, what if I want to just see the alpha? I just click on these, take out everybody but the alpha. So I can say, now I have to zoom out now because the alpha is at a higher amplitude. I can say, why was the alpha so variable? Well, because I was trying to settle down, even at the 8 minutes. And when does the alpha get less variable? Well, really kind of right in here, this segment right here. So that's about 13 minutes. So if I want to look at my mind mirror, I go to this negative sign because I'm going to zoom in and change the attenuation from 75 something that allows me to see pattern better here. So this is telling me I have some pretty good alpha here. It's not terribly stable, but it's trying to stabilize. And if I scroll down on the script, and I don't even have to scroll down, I can say, well, I'm at 14 minutes. This line here that says script, I can click on this right here, and that's going to take me to wherever that script was. That's going to bring that part of the script up. In whatever way you choose, use this energy to heal, taking as long as you wish. Well, I've already made myself a note in there. I kept healing myself. In fact, I started healing myself here on the throat and chest. And this wonderful remarks bar allows you to write in there what was actually happening. So I was healing myself. So that apparently, that connection to my own physical body and being focused on healing itself was drawing me more inside into these much, much better patterns than the ones you've seen before. So what if I say, what about the gamma? Was there a change in the gamma? I can just take alpha off. Now I'm going to have to zoom in because the gamma is always at lower amplitude. So I do see some gamma changes here. The gamma was pretty stable until about here. You can see the increase in the amplitude. So this is upper gamma, mid gamma, and low gamma. Upper is always the lowest amplitude. This is mid gamma. This is low gamma. Low gamma is at the top of the mind mirror, old mind mirror pattern, which is in the top two bars, which is, I can just show you, it's right here, 38 and 30. So I can see that there's a gamma increase here. So what on earth made that gamma increase? I must have moved here, or maybe there was some big gamma flare. Let's go back and see. So you become really a scientist of your own brainwaves, you know, because you're wanting to see what made these changes happen. Look at that big delta. So there's a huge delta, and then there's a gamma increase. Let's see if it's real gamma or just noise. Actually, zoom in a little bit better. Oops, too much. There's something happening with delta. So something important happened here. I can stop it, bring it. That was a movement there. I want to look at a good pattern. particularly good. Well, actually, I want to see what brought this delta up at 9:34. So I can just click here and 9:30, bring it up. Now, as you draw the healing energy into your body, you may become aware of the source of that energy, or you may not. Well, apparently I did, because that is what that wonderful delta is literally becoming aware of the delta, which proves, of course, our awakened mind theory. The delta is the connection to the field, right? So you can just scroll here, but I'm actually more interested in what brought up what looks like the strongest amount of gamma in the pattern, and that's at 12 minutes. So I can certainly click here, but then I'll also show you that I could, where it says segments here, I can use my cursor, put it here, and say, oh, I want to just look at 12 to 12:30. That is going to not only bring it up, but give me a title bar. So in the title bar, if you're not using a script, say you're Awakened Mind practitioner and you're using your own script, this is where you would type in what it is you were doing during the meditation. Actually, so this would be, let the heart and brain come together and the energy out of the hands. So this is feeling, even though I didn't feel it arouse in my palms, although it's happening right now as I say it, and it usually does. It's more not feeling, because I didn't feel it. It was more that I connected with it. I have this title, and I can elaborate on that in remarks and say, didn't feel the energy in the hands, wondered why. It's important to put that kind of thing, because if you decide you want to go to your detail level, the fact that I was wondering why I wasn't feeling it was certainly affecting my brainwave patterns. And look at this. I was searching for the feeling right here in the delta, and it collapsed my whole pattern. But what if I say, what would that pattern have looked like if this delta hadn't been included in it, which caused a collapse? Well, that delta went out to 45 microvolts. All I have to do is go up here to the attenuation and then change the default. I want to look at the rest of the pattern, so I'm going to say, make it read like that. So now, there it is. I go back to the detail level. And now I can see that the delta is cut off. I could even change the attenuation, but I can see that the alpha was trying to come out. You see the confusion in my brain where I'm going, where is the energy I always feel there? You can even see the confusion here. There's a 9 hertz alpha peak on the left and a 10.5 hertz alpha peak on the right. So this was not a great meditation for me until I started to heal myself. And then the story changed. You might want to, I would certainly want to go back and look at this gamma some more. I want to zoom it back up. Gamma's kind of at its peak right now, which is 18 minutes. I can play it, or I can select it here. This is when I was doing my healing for myself, on myself. Actually, it said reemerge and reawaken, and I just ignored it. And that's where I sent out healing energy to other people. So you can just scroll through these patterns and get so incredibly many insights out of them. So let me just open this up to you guys now and ask if you have questions on how to use the meditation viewer and the relevance of it as well.
This is Doug Schneider. I have a question, Judith.
Please.
One of the meditations referenced the inner child.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about working with content. And an interesting thing has been happening with me during this COVID isolation. I've been finding myself consciously quite regressed. In other words, into feelings of very early childhood, and so I can understand using this to get there and work with that at the conscious level. But that got me to wondering about the field of perinatal psychology and trauma at that level. And there are some psychologists working with, perinatal fetal trauma. And I was wondering if you've ever encountered getting to that level to find a block, for instance, if that even exists. Can one work with one's inner fetus as content like one's inner child? I don't know. I'm just wondering.
No, what happens when you go back into that inner child meditation? And I was working with somebody online the other night with it, is that it will take you anywhere you need to go, to whatever is the sensitizing issue. Sometimes that's 2 years old, 5 years old, 12 years old. I have seen people actually go back into a past life and in that meditation and find a sensitizing issue there. So the subconscious is unlimited, isn't it? So it can take you wherever you need to go to get the information you need to help it, the subconscious, heal its wounds. Yeah, absolutely. It will work exactly the same way.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? I actually will take a few moments to redeem myself since I showed you such a pathetic example of my own meditation practice. I want to show you the Kundalini Maui Zowie in a moment, but let's just see about questions right now. Anybody, do you see, first of all, do you see the relevance and how incredibly useful the meditation viewer would be? Yeah? Yeah, working with content, being able to see. I see you nodding, Alston. You see it. Good, good. Anything you want to comment on that? To unmute and say something?
It's just a lot of possibilities, and I actually hope that something like this would exist at some point, and something that would be more specific and help you bring out the parts of the brainwave patterns that you're, bringing out more alpha or more theta or whatever to more quickly help you get to the pattern you want to. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
you bring up something so important there. I mean, it is true that the self-training program is going to help you change your brainwave pattern, but it's a very mechanistic approach. Whereas if you are hooked up to the mind mirror and listening to the meditation that serves your needs, then you're dealing with your heart, your mind, your spirit, your physical body, your interaction with the field, and your brainwaves all at the same time. So that is just, it's the difference between seeing one-dimensionally and multidimensionally, seeing in black and white and seeing in color. Everything then comes alive and gives you so much more capability and potential to make changes. And any awakened mind practitioner will tell you that. Gary, can you make any comments about that as a practitioner? So I'm going to go back now to the summary. And now the dashboard. So this meditation was actually not to the I Awake. They're still mastering that one and be for sale soon. And in fact, I'll let you guys know because when it comes out, if you want it, they offered a 25% discount. So I titled this meditation Kundalini Journey, Maui Zowie movie. And that's because I was so high. Let me just open up edit where I made some comments. I gave it a 6 on the table of subjective landmarks, which is as high as you can get, and that's really, really an altered state. It was already named as energy healing and mastery, and I gave it a level 0 on the table of subjective landmarks, imagery more lifelike than the real experience. I mean, I was just swept up in something extraordinary and wrote, this is like a virtual reality experience. It was so all involving. Oh, hang on. No, this is not right. I have to change this. Because this was, I haven't heard there. No, I did. Okay, so I haven't heard the last mastered one, so I take that back. This was, I was listening to the Awaken frequencies and the music, and involved lots of gamma. When the gamma increases, there are a great many universal consciousness patterns on the 100 hertz scale. It's interesting that the major alpha increases seem to stimulate more gamma and these universal consciousness patterns. Signal quality was perfect, but there's a little electrical noise in the left brain. I was sitting at my desk. I was surprising there wasn't more noise because everything's wired in there. So this, I'm going to save that back. I might even change the title to make this an I Awake meditation. And then open the, well, I mean, you just to show you this, why it was so Maui-Zowie. It was only 90% rewards on the Awakened Mind 64 hertz scale, but that was because it on the 64 hertz scale, it was 86% gamma synchrony. And so this is where you start paying attention to the 100 hertz scores when you have this much gamma in the pattern. You see that noise right there. On the 100 hertz scale, it was 86 Awakened Mind, but it was 89 gamma synchrony. So these guys took me so high. And on the 26th, actually on the 26th of September, they're going to release the Kundalini in volume 2, I Awake will. And then for the first, I think, 2 weeks, they'll sell it at the 25% discount. And then we'll put it in the meditation center so you can buy it from there and have the script for it. Rachel has this one last script to do. Thank you, Rachel. Can you imagine how much work that was? I mean, look at it. She had to have the sense to say, okay, let's only put this little bit in here. And by the way, why don't we put falling only as one segment and see what happens when you're falling? So there are a lot of decisions to be made here too. So I want to just look in the composite display at the gamma, show you these cool changes. So I'm going to certainly zoom in, but once I zoom in, then I'm going to have to smooth it to separate the lines. So it's actually smarter to smooth it first. I just click it like 5 times. Click it as many as you want. So you can see that there's a humongous gamma increase here. It's really steady and stable for the duration of this meditation. And this center part here, if I wanted to look at it with the mind mirror, that would be interesting enough in itself. But one thing I would really want to know to start with is what made the gamma increase? When did this huge gamma increase start? Let's say that, okay, there was some gamma to start with, then I went down. So maybe even let's check that first. Why did that gamma decrease in the first place? So that's at 3:34 minutes. I just click on here. Oh, because I'm falling farther and deeper into myself and going deep into meditation. So when you start dropping into theta and delta, your gamma is going to increase, and mine certainly did here, and this is proof of it. But what made it get higher than it was to start with? It's right in here somewhere. So I just scroll over here. That's 10:30 minutes. I can click on the script. Oh, well, no wonder it went up. A column of white and golden flame that you are a part of. A column that is glowing whiter and whiter. A column of white fire that you are a part of, reaching upward from the very center of the earth, surging, flowing upward and upward. and finally bursting out through the opening at the Earth's surface and still surging upward, far, far up into the skies. Well, yeah. So this is the kind of thing, as I've said on umpteen webinars before, when you go up, so does your gamma. So I move the detail level over here. And I'm probably going to see some really nice patterns. Look at the freaking gamma here. It's enormous. Those are incredibly high gamma scores. All kinds of really great patterns in here. And if I just wanted to go over to it, what made the gamma rise still more? It went up even again. So this is giving me, you see, what's important about this, not just that I'm saying, hey, the meditation works, it's giving you a landmark, because here's your proof for both sides of the brain in your gamma that you indeed, the way you felt is gamma. So all you have to do is remember, you see, what it felt like, allow yourself to have a vision. So this is when the gamma increases even more. In fact, it's still higher right here. I need to actually zoom out, be able to see the heights of it. This is the highest it gets throughout the whole meditation. So what was happening here? Straighten that pattern up. So that's at 1901. Let's just scoot over here. Ah, we're still having a vision. Look at that gorgeous alpha band there. So this is partly because of Anna's meditation guidance. It's partly because of the I Awake, right? So this whole time is allowing self to have a vision and to meditate. And this peak right here at 1911 is being inside the crown, out in the beam of light, and feeling what that feels like. So this is going to be a really nice long 1640 minutes to 1947 minute landmark. I guarantee you I remember what that felt like, and the patterns were just fantastic. And you can see the 100 hertz. All this is the top half of an evolved mind pattern in the 100 hertz frequency. We normally see that in the lower frequencies of the pattern. And this is approaching universal consciousness, that circle at 100 hertz. So you have a landmark for what it feels like when the kundalini has aroused. And it's gone through the crown of the head, and you're out in cosmic consciousness, united with the field. That was a pretty cool pattern. Let's just go back there for a second. So that is definitely the top half of a universal consciousness pattern. That's more diamond heading to it because of this alpha bridge. It wasn't completely there. So I can't tell you how much fun I've had with this. And it's going to be, oh, this is another thing to point out. So if you move your mouse wheel, or if you have on a laptop mouse pad, you can spread this out so you can look with more definition, or you can compress the composite display. Of course, none of this was possible before. One other little thing, you can untick the gauges, which are really useful, but this helps you see the composite display a little bigger. So yes, my promise is to get some dry electrodes. So by George, you can hook up anytime you want and enjoy all these meditations. I absolutely had a blast being able to use the dry electrodes, because I just hooked up every day, sat out there on my porch and got high on all these meditations. Because see, I had never listened to gathering the healing energy for transmission to others, expansion and contraction of consciousness, the kundalini meditation, Anna's 3 highest, because they weren't recorded before. So, I mean, I've guided lots of people practitioners and groups in these meditations and seeing them produce these phenomenal patterns. And I knew they worked, but it's only now that I've been able to enjoy them for myself and see that indeed they work for me too. So, you know, and another aspect of this, I have to say, is that thanks to Andrew having invented the portal and having the incredible technological expertise as, frankly, a software genius to be able to make the thing happen. And thanks to Rachel for designing the album covers and doing the meditation scripts, which was such a big job. Sitting there with a timer, typing it in, next module, typing it in. You know, it's just excruciating work. Thanks to them, we have got this work in a completion form for you now. What we didn't have before, the content aspect of the work, we now have. And I guarantee you, this is momentous. Thank you, Andrea. She's sending thanks to Andrew and in the chat to Rachel as well. It is momentous. And even more than that, now these meditations are recorded for posterity. iAwake has 35,000 subscribers, and they are buying the in, out, and through meditation and being exposed to Anna Wise, and then they're coming over to the meditation center to see, well, what else do we have? And so the portal made it all possible. But for you guys, the meditation viewer is making so much more possible than was before, simply by being able to compare that script and compare those patterns, and it's so easy to use. And you get the first 10 sessions for free. So that is sweet in itself. This is Andrew is a magnanimous person, and he wanted to make sure that people could go and experiment with it first, see if they'd like it. You can even buy you can buy a month's worth of sessions for $20 and only sign up for 1 month. You don't even have to subscribe over a period of time. So thanks to these dear ones who have supported this project, every bit of the way, we have preserved these meditations for posterity in the process, made them available to the world, and most importantly, frankly, made them available to you, because we want you to get every ounce of enjoyment and benefit out of this work, because then you'll go, oh, my Aunt Harriet, she'd like this too. And then maybe you'll sign up for the network and then spread this work. And of course, that's what we want more than anything else, to help people in these troubled times. And we've had 2 comments, and both of them were on the challenges of living in a COVID world. And there are lots of other people who could be helped. Just a relaxation river of life meditation, you know, where you recognize that that river is leading us right where we want to go, right where we've always known that it would go, and everything is just fine right there. Yeah. And so I showed you the 54 new meditations plus iAwakes too. The complete brainwave training link takes you to the meditations that the practitioners in all 4 seminars are exposed to, and it's a sequential. Here's the awakened mind. Here's how to quiet your brain. Awakened mind. The second one is remediating issues with your brain waves. Those meditations involved with that, or those of other people. Of course, you learn it. You can teach it to other people, right? And then the third one is mastery, really stabilizing that awakened mind pattern through inner child. And then the fourth one is the higher state meditations. A lot of people are buying those meditations because they are sequential, and they have afforded us the opportunity to be able to do online practitioner trainings. I'm working tonight, momentarily, with someone in Australia, and about to start a series of online training, seminars 1 and 2. If any of you guys are interested, send me an email. Somebody in Australia, she's here with us, Sandra, today, is interested. And so people can hook themselves up at home, listen to the meditations, cute cat, Alston, listen to the meditations and upload them to the portal. And then we can work online with them, as you've seen us do today. So that, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Rachel. Portal and the meditation viewer have allowed us to continue with practitioner trainings during COVID when we're not doing in-person trainings anymore. Funny how it all comes together, right? Just like that River of Life says. All perfect timing. Thank you all for being here. I really am so excited, not only for the fact of this in itself, but for myself personally, because now 15 years in this work, of the things that I have accomplished, this is one of the big three. This is going to last beyond me. It's going to last beyond us. It's going to last forever. So we really have created something, Rachel, Andrew, that is going to do some good for the world. And if you know someone that these meditations can help, please surf through there, find out what it can be, and share it with them.
I just can't wait to get started with this. I'm going right to the website right now and start playing around with stuff, and I want to start using it when I do my next session tomorrow.
And so I hope you'll all experience it, all enjoy it. And thank you for being here today. Please let us have your feedback. And again, thanks to the brilliant Andrew and the brilliant Rachel for making it happen.
Thank you, Judith, and thank you to your daughter for all of her wonderful work. She's a brilliant artist.
Oh, thank you. She'll love to hear that. Appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. See you next time. Actually, next time is going to be Awake. They're going to come on and talk about their Kundalini album and what they did and what they put into it, and their artists will be on there. So yeah, that's going to be fun.